Well, if it is September 18th, guess what Sue's doing? It's right, it's canning time. Canning season is in full swing, and today I found a sale on chicken breast. The sale was 99 cents a pound if you got a 40-pound box, which I did. So I'm going to can it in these little jars, the pint jars. Beautiful, huge chicken breasts. I'm going to cut up. I don't know if I can get this down to where you're going to be able to see me do this or not. But all I'm going to do is stuff the chicken into the jar. So we're going to start taking. Now you can save, you see this fatty part? You can save that and can it as far as putting it in with your juices. And I'm going to do that because that will enhance the flavor of the chicken. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the chicken into good sized chunks. And then I'm just going to press it down into the jars. And I'm going to do this one jar at a time. Now my canner is one that I can stack the jars, so I should be able to get between 18 and 20 pints of chicken. And they say that it's about 1 pound of chicken per jar. So we'll see. If that's true, then I should have about 40 pints of chicken when I'm done. I have 48 pint jars right now. I'm going to shove this down to within half or a full inch of head space, which is right where that bottom ring starts on the jar. So you can see I've pushed this down. And I'm just going to set this aside. I'm going to wipe the jar off before I set it aside. I'm going to wipe it off with vinegar, the ring. I'm not going to cap it yet because we'll see how I am when I get down to about 9 jars. I'll push that down just a little bit more. And these are beautiful chicken breasts. Look, this one is a double one. So I go to a meat market over in a little town called Pemberville, and that's where I get most of my meat. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to open up another jar to get going here. Now you notice I'm just taking these jars right out of the package. If you pressure can, USDA says you do not need to sterilize your jars beforehand if you're pressure canning for more than 10 minutes, which this will be, because I'll have to process this once we get going on it. It has to process for 75 minutes, so an hour and 15 minutes. Now you're probably wondering, what the heck do I use this for? Well, anything you would use canned chicken for is what you would use this for. This is exactly the same thing as what you would buy in the store. I do this when I get a sale, and if I have enough left over after I have exhausted all of my jars, then I probably will save a couple chicken breasts out to make soup and can the soup. But anything that you would use canned chicken for, like making a chicken salad, or you can toss this in hot sauce. And you can make barbecue chicken with it. I'm going to pull that out. Yeah, anything like that. So anything that you would normally, I don't know what canned chicken's going for in the store these days. Last time I looked, it was over $2, and it was for like 6 ounces. That's just a little bit too much in there, so I'm gonna, I think, just leave it like that. Wipe the rim. And yeah, so this is this is for a quick meal. And I'll be back after I get all this done to show you how many I have in, and I'll show you how I stack them in the canner too. But you know, being able to stack my jars is, I mean, it's a time saver. I was canning for like 3 years before I realized that I could double stack pint jars when I pressure can. I don't double stack them when I water bath can because you have to have so much water over top. Also, before I forget, since I'm doing this a raw pack and at room temperature, I'm not heating up the water in my canner. I will put room temperature or just tap water into the canner and it'll all come up to pressure at the same time. Because if I were to have hot water going in with this raw pack, it could shock the jars and they could crack, and we don't want that. So, alright, so I'm going to say goodbye for right now. I'll be back and I'll show you when I start stacking my canner. And make note of the time. I want to show you. It's 2:22, so we'll see how long it takes me to get these going. Okay, I can fit 9 pint jars on the bottom layer and 9 on the top layer. I have a second rack here. You can see I'm starting to stack. So I'll have 18 pints of jars in this particular canner. I know some of them you can fit 20 jars, but mine is only going to let me do 18. So I'm going to continue loading this and then I'll be back. Okay, it is 3:03. So in less than an hour, I have 18 meals canned up of canned chicken. Now, I want you to go to your cupboard and I want you to find a can of chicken and I want you to read the ingredients, because when I pull all these out, this is just going to be chicken. So I'm going to start the fire, I'm going to turn the heat, and I'm going to let this vent for 10 minutes. Then I'll bring it up to pressure, and once that happens, I'm going to can this for 75 minutes. I will show you when this is all done. Alright, I have about 10 minutes left on my first canner load. In the meantime, while that was processing, I got my second load ready to go. So I have 18 more jars ready to go into the canner when this batch, the present batch, is done. Out of that 40 pounds, I got 36 pints of chicken, and I have about 1 whole chicken breast left over that I just put in the freezer. I'm probably going to use it for soup. I do have some fat scraps that I decided not to can. I'm going to freeze these also because then I'm going to make soup with this. And probably the rest of that chicken that I have left over. I've already got a bag of vegetable scraps in the freezer. So it looks like after I'm done with all my other canning this weekend, I am going to be making soup. So I have, in 2 hours time, I have 36 meals for the winter. Alright, I just got the second batch in my canner. I wanted to show you what this looks like coming out. They finally stopped sizzling. Here we have 18 pints of fully cooked canned chicken. You can use this for just about anything, and when it comes out of the jar, it's just as tender as can be. There's nothing in that jar except chicken. I have my second batch in. I have 18 more pints in the canner right now. I'm waiting for it to get up to 11 pounds of pressure. As you can see, it's starting to rise. It's a little bit above 5 right now. When it gets up to 11 pounds, I'll start the timer for 75 minutes. And after 75 minutes is done, I will turn the heat off, let it come back down to 0 pressure. Then I'll take the lid off and let the canner rest for 10 minutes before I take the jars out. But at the end of the night, I will have 36 jars of canned chicken. And this is what I ended up with. 36 pints of canned chicken. That's still very hot. I don't really want to move them because they're very hot. But look at that. That's all canned chicken. You can use this for taco soup. You can use it for tacos. You can use it for, gosh, anything. So I just wanted to end the video with this. This is my handiwork. I gotta tell you, I started at 2:22 this afternoon, and these have been out of the canner now for a while. So by 7 o'clock tonight, I was finished. Ran the canner twice, and here we have. So I was thinking today, each one of these is probably, for me, because I'm by myself, it's probably 2 meals. So really, I have 72 meals right here. And my goal is to get my pantry stocked so that this winter I don't have to grocery shop. But this is all good stuff. There's nothing but pure chicken in these jars. So that's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed my canning video. Like I said, chicken, it was so easy. I mean, you don't even add water. The chicken makes its own broth, so you know it's completely raw packed. There's nothing in there but chicken, and it was so easy to do. I mean, all it was my time. I figured up it was for what I got, I believe it is about 7 cents per ounce. So those jars are packed of 16 ounces, so I mean, do the price comparison. When next time you're in the store, look at, or if you have some in your pantry, look to see how much you pay for chicken and what's in it. The one that I looked at the store tonight had all kinds of additives, things I couldn't pronounce. So there it is. That's why I can, because I know what's in it. I know there's nothing but pure chicken in there, and I like to look at it. So I'll be bringing you along on quite a few canning videos over the weekend because my corn and tomatoes are coming tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And also stay tuned for my weigh-in video in the morning if you see this tonight. I mean, it's Wednesday night, so you may not see it till tomorrow. You guys have a great night. Happy canning.